It's a battle of the Mustangs in the district championship game here from Metro State University in Denver. The Ponderosa Mustangs against the Fort Morgan Mustangs. I'm John Beltran. As Ponderosa defeated Northridge earlier today, 3-2. The Mustangs did the same to Valor Christian. And Kyle Daniels will step in to begin the game. And he faces the right-hander, Alan Jean-Jacques, and that's a strike. Mustang starting lineup the same as the previous game. And the offering. And the breaking balls in the dirt. Brought to you by Cargill Beef, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about their story of commitment at Cargill.com. Wind and pitch. Swung on and grounded slowly up the right side towards the second baseman Halloran. He gloves it to first. Never touched it with his right hand. And Daniels is out number one. Here is Trevor Shirtliff, followed by Austin Cosman, Joey Schneider, Carlito Urquieta, the fifth-place hitter, Kenny Keller, Trey McBride. Batting eighth is Nate Cage, and Adrian Marquez at ninth. Defensively, Parker Eischen at first, Mitch Halloran at second, Ryder Gadati at third. For this team from Ponderosa, Kyan Kagan at short. Jesse Feldhausen left, Thomas Green in center, Dane Grounds in right. And the pitch, fastball away. Parker Leland behind the plate. And Alan Jean-Jacques with a one-ball, no-strike count. He's from Louisiana. Swung on and fouled straight back to the screen. It's 1-1. To the sophomore Trevor Shirtliff. Trey McBride drove in all 3 runs in the district semifinal, eliminating Valor Christian. The winner of this game advances to the 8-team double elimination state tournament, swinging and missing a breaking ball. It is 1-2. Carlito Urquieta will be the starting pitcher for the Mustangs. The pitch swung on and lifted into shallow right center field. Coming on and making the catch is Grounds. There's 2 down. 2 down here in the first inning for Austin Cosman. Cosman was 2 for 3 with a triple and a single. Also scored a run. Fort Morgan was out-hit in that game against Valor Christian, but they outscored the Eagles. Wine in the pitch, and the breaking ball's in there for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. From Alan Jean-Jacques to Austin Cosman. Here's the wine and the offering, and the breaking ball is low and inside. Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jesse Feldhaus is very shallow in left field. Very shallow. The pitch. Cosman takes a fastball for a strike on the outer half just above the knees. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the senior third baseman. Jean-Jacques delivers. Swung on in line towards right field. That's going to be trouble. That one's going to sail all the way towards the fence. Chasing it down is Grounds. Cosman around first. He's to second. And he's going to have a 2-out triple like he did in the opening game against Valor Christian. As Cosman lined it well inside the right field line. And the Mustangs have a threat here in the first inning. Here's Joey Schneider. Schneider had a base hit in the opening game. And when you're the visiting team in this situation, got to score early. Northridge had just 1 hit against Ponderosa, but the Mustangs made 3 errors in that game, and Ponderosa had to beat Northridge with a base hit in the bottom of the 7th inning by a 3-2 count. The stretch by Jean-Jacques. And the pitch. Fastball is fouled to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. Accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night, when they do every second counts. Colorado Plains Medical Center can handle any type of emergency. They're a level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center. And the 0-1. Curveball is lined for a base hit into left field. Joey delivers. Cosman scores. And the Mustangs lead 1-0 here in the top half of the first inning. And here's Carlito Urquieta. And Carlito's not a shutdown pitcher, so they're going to have to give him some support. Even Kyle, as well as he can pitch, did not shut down Valor Christian completely. He threw 122 pitches in that victory. So Schneider with his second hit of the day. And Carlito still awaiting the signs. And Anthony Arroyo now running at first for Joey Schneider. That was another reason for the slight delay, as the Mustangs have broken out on top. The stretch and the offering. Fastball, a strike at knees. No balls and one strike to Carlito. Jean Jacquet looks back. The pitch swung on, grounded slowly, foul down the third base side. Well, Fort Morgan legitimized themselves in that opening game that just because they didn't play in the strongest league, they're still a very, very good baseball team. No balls and two strikes. The stretch. Long pause by Jean Jacquet. The pitch swung on and fouled off the end of the bat. Keep in mind, Ponderosa only 12-8 going into the game. So it's not like they had a great season record-wise. 11-8 during the season, then they beat Northridge. Fort Morgan has the best record in this tournament at 17-3 now. Throw back the first back and diving is Arroyo. Balls and two strikes to Carlito Urquieta. The Mustangs did the damage with 2 outs. Fastball is upstairs. Sitting at 1-2. The stretch by Jean Jacquet. Short lead at first. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. And Fort Morgan is done in the top of the first inning, but they score a run on 2 hits. Joey Schneider comes through with an RBI single after Austin Cosman's triple. No errors and a man left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan 1, and Ponderosa's coming to bat. You're listening to the Class 4A District Championship game from Denver on B106 and B106.com. Let's get to the Ponderosa starting lineup. Batting first is the left fielder Jesse Feldhaus. The second baseman Mitch Halloran hits second. Alan Jean Jacquet, the pitcher, bats third. Batting fourth is the third baseman Ryder Gadati. Parker Leland, the catcher, hits fifth. Shortstop Kyan Kagan hits sixth. Parker Eisha, the first baseman, bats seventh. Dane Grounds in right hits eighth, and Thomas Green, the center fielder, bats ninth. The Mustangs defensively have Nate Cage at first, Bladen Pollitt at second. The third baseman is Austin Cosman. At short is Trevor Shurtleff. Around the outfield, Kenny Keller in left, Kyle Daniels in center. Trey McBride's at right. Behind the plate is Joey Schneider. And here is Carlito Urquieta. He's had his adventures this season. Swung on. That ball is popped up into shallow left field. Kenny Keller looking for the baseball spots and makes the catch. He found it at the last second. Mustang outfielders had trouble in that opening game as Feldhaus is retired, the left-handed hitter. Nice job of Carlito throwing that first pitch strike. Carlito 7-0 during the season, but a 4.85 ERA. The pitch down the middle for a strike with a changeup. If Carlito can find his game, he's very mentally strong. Mitch Halloran now the hitter. And the 0-1. And the breaking ball is in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gorgeous college facility. The winner of this game will play on Friday in the 8-team double elimination state tournament. And the pitch. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mitch Halloran from the right side, the second baseman, awaits the pitch from Carlito. And that is a strike with a changeup on the outside corner. Levels the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 1 down and the bases empty in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch swung on. That is popped up on the right side into foul territory. Schneider giving chase. It's out of play in the front row of the bleachers. So it remains at 2-2. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery, a perfect combination. Open 6 days a week, 921 Edison Street in Brush. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Halloran in the bottom of the first inning. And the offering in the dirt with a changeup, short arm that one. Ball 3, strike 2 to Mitch Halloran. Schneider lays down the side, the pitch. And that is a call, strike 3. Fastball on the outside corner. Halloran took off for first, and they rung him up. And there's 2 down. What a pitch by Carlito. Don't ever look for the call in your favor for the umpire if you're a hitter. Here is Alan Jean-Jacquet, the opposing pitcher, hitting from the right side with 2 down and the bases empty. That's how the Mustangs generated their rally. And that changeup is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch in the dirt with a curveball. 2-0. Jean-Jacquet awaits the 2-0 pitch. And that is low and away with a curveball, 3-0. Yeah, don't want to start that business. Especially what's going to be the final game of the season for one team, and that fastball's up and in. Jean-Jacquet walks on 4 pitches. Carlito will do that occasionally. And he's got a guard against that. Ryder Gadotti. Is now the hitter. Courtesy runners Austin Naro for Ponderosa with 2 down. A man on. Fort Morgan leads 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning in this district championship game out of District 3. Here from Metro State University in Denver. And home plate umpire just noting that change on his lineup card, even though it's just a courtesy runner. Still has to be done. Big lead at first for Naro. The stretch. Gadotti awaits the pitch, and he takes it up and in with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. There'll be a short leash for Carlito if he gets into trouble here. You've got Shirtliff and Schneider ready to pitch, but you want to get 4 or 5 innings at least out of Carlito. Throw back to first back at diving. Is the runner Naro. But this happened to Kyle Daniels in the first inning of game 1. The pitch, runner going, swung on, grounded, and it's by Cage for a base hit as he dove to his right. Runner held up at second, now headed for third, and McBride picks it up and gets it back into the infield. It's a base hit for Gadotti, first and third, and Cage nearly made another outstanding play at first base, but barely missed it on the dive to his right. There's Parker Leland hitting for the right side with 2 on and 2 down. And again, this is what Fort Morgan did in the first inning. They scored with 2 down with the bases empty, and Ponderosa's looking to duplicate that here in the bottom of the first. Leland, a right-handed hitter for Ponderosa. Let's see if Gadotti takes off from first to place 2 runners in scoring position. The stretch and the pitch, and the curveball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Schneider gets a sign for the dugout. And the 1-0. Up and in with a fastball. 2-0. With Kai and Kagan on deck. No defense against a walk. We've already had 1 in this inning. Carlito at the belt. 2-0 pitch. And he bounces it in. Gets by Schneider to the screen. And on the wild pitch, Naro scores. And the game is tied at 1. And Carlito's just got to rally from that now. So it is 3 balls and no strikes. The stretch and the offering. Right there with a changeup for a strike. But you hate to give up a lead that quickly. 3-1. Pitch is swung on and fouled down the right side, but McBride has a play and makes the catch. Actually, McBride had a play well inside the line, and the Mustangs get out of that jam. I thought that thing was tailing away, but McBride made the play in right, and that's it in the first inning. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the top of the second inning. The score, Fort Morgan 1, Ponderosa 1 on B106 and B106.com. Well, both teams scored first inning runs. As we head to the second in this Class 4A District 3 championship game from Metro State in Denver, the Mustangs are tied at 1. That's Fort Morgan and the Ponderosa Mustangs. Kenny Keller had a base hit against Valor Christian, and he will now bat. 6, 7, and 8 against the right-hander Alan Jean-Jacquet. Wind and pitch. Fastball is grounded left side by the third baseman of the shortstop, throwing on the run in time. The play was made by Kagan, or did they call him safe? They've called him safe. I do not believe that call. Oh, my gosh, it looked like Keller was out by a step. And the Ponderosa head coach is way out there arguing that call. He's going to ask for help. I thought he was out by a step. I can't believe they called him safe unless Eichen's foot was pulled off the bag. They're going to ask for help. But the throw clearly beat him. Now let's see what happens in the conversation between there's 2 umpires in the field, 1 at the plate, so 3 umpires as opposed to the customary 2. But it appeared that the throw clearly beat Kenny Keller. I was stunned. He was called safe. Let's see if this call is indeed reversed. No, he's called safe. It's going to be called an infield hit then. Wow. Even the Fort Morgan fans realizing that was an unbelievable break. And it'll be Fort Morgan's 3rd hit of the game. It hasn't even been scored on the board. And not happy is the Ponderosa head coach. Not happy at all. Yeah, you can't blame him. I mean, you wonder what they were watching there. But again, Fort Morgan will take it. And the conversation continues with Bob Maloney. Bob Maloney, the head coach of the Ponderosa Mustangs, is hot. And I got to tell you, I don't blame him one bit. There is no doubt that Keller was out. And I want to see Fort Morgan win as much as anybody. I mean, that's why he came storming out of the dugout like a madman. Here is Trey McBride, who had a 2-run single and a fielder's choice driving in a run in that 3-2 victory. McBride stepping in from the right side. Throw back to first, back and diving is Keller. Ryder Gadati playing in at third. Jean-Jacquet stretches. And the offering swung on and fouled back through a fastball in the outer half. It's 0-1. Yeah, the question is how strong was this Fort Morgan team following a 16-3 season playing in one of the weaker leagues in 4A? We found out when they beat Valor Christian in the semifinal. 1 ball and check that. No balls and 1 strike. McBride awaits. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded right back to the mound, and hesitation. Throw to second, high, and safe! Safe coming down on the bag was the shortstop Kagan, but a high throw, and we're going to have another argument. That was bang, bang. That'll be an error on the pitcher. Should have been an easy 1-6-3. Wow, 2 in a row, but this one not as obvious. But if your pitcher makes the play, then it's not an error. And you have at least 1 out, if not 2. Ponderosa made 3 errors in the opening game, and they've got 1 right now. And here's Nate Cage. Man, Fort Morgan got a huge break on 1 call. And that time, an easy 1-6-3 double play. The ball was stuck in the glove of Jean Jacquet. Then he threw high to Kagan, who came down on the bag. But not before the slide of Kenny Keller, the stretch. Is Cage squaring to bunt? He will. And he lays it down foul up the third base side. Cage has got to lay down a good one. He does not have a tremendous amount of foot speed. Because you don't want a double play in this situation. And on deck, you've got Adrian Marquez, who had a double in that district semifinal. No balls, one strike, 2 on. A very bizarre start to the second inning with a game tied at 1. The stretch. And the wheel plays on. Throw back to second. Back in diving is Keller. He read that perfectly. Again, you can follow it pitch by pitch. If you step away from the radio, go to KSIRsports.com. Click on the faster connections is preferable, and then the link to today's game. You'll get an outline of the entire baseball field and box scores on both sides, inning by inning accounts, pitch by pitch accounts. And the 0-1 squaring to bunt, and he fouls it off to the right side, not even close to the field of play. 0-2, and Cage is going to have to hit it away. No balls and 2 strikes to the sophomore first baseman, who's put together a very nice season. Temperature warming up in Denver. The runners take their leads. The right-hander, Alan Jean-Jacquet, stretches. Comes home, squaring to bunt, and he missed it by a mile. Throw back to second. That's a double play. They nailed Kenny Keller. He was tagged out over there by Kagan. No controversy there. And the Mustangs failed badly at that one. They strike him out, throw him out, double play, and there's 2 down. So now, here's Adrian Marquez with 2 down and a man at first and McBride. Excellent throw there by the catcher Leland, the pitch. And he takes a breaking ball low. Well, I guess Fort Morgan was a little bit lucky to be in that situation anyway. So you could see it as a blown opportunity, even though they are still hitting in the inning. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering, fastball, a strike, thigh high. And the count levels at 1-1, threw it on the outer half. A bank that is committed to their community, Morgan Federal Bank. 321 end sign, there's a difference. The stretch and the 1-1. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to the 9th place hitter, Adrian Marquez. Fort Morgan and Ponderosa are deadlocked at 1 here in the top of the second inning. McBride has a 2-step lead at first. The stretch. And the pitch. And the breaking ball's in the dirt. 3-1. Your operation deserves the best. When buying a mixer feeder truck, compare the MMI Design Craftsmanship and Service. MMI International. 842-5161. Throw back to first, and McBride's going to be picked off. He's caught in a rundown. The throw to second. He's going to be tagged out by the shortstop, Kagan. And the Mustangs with horrendous base running in this frame. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The bases were left empty. We head to the bottom of the second inning in this district championship game. Fort Morgan 1, Ponderosa 1 on B106 and B106.com. Very odd start to the game so far as Ponderosa and Fort Morgan right now are 1-1 going into the bottom of the second inning in Denver. Kean Kagan will step in. The pitch and the breaking ball is over but low. From the right-hander, Carlito Urquiera. And the pitch, fastball outside. Count is at 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch, that's away. Man, he's struggling. Carlito started this with 2 down in the opening frame. It's going to be a short leash for Carlito if he can't throw strikes. 3-0 pitch, and he bounced it in, not even close. Kagan walks. And Parker Eischen will now step in. Yeah, we'll see how long head coach Josh Langford goes with Urquieta. Because these are things you cannot allow in any playoff game, especially leadoff walks, let alone more than one walk. Eischen hitting for the left side. The stretch. And the offering, squaring to bunt, and he lays it down the third baseline. And Cosman fielded in play, throw to first, and late, runner goes to third, and the ball skips away, and that's going to score a run. It'll be an infield hit, and now Kagan's going to score off the air by the first baseman Cage, and it's 2-1 Ponderosa. I think Cosman should have let it go foul. That ball was trickling foul. Now they're in business. Here is Dane Grounds. Fort Morgan commits their first error of the day. The pitch and the breaking ball is missed. 1 ball, no strikes. He misses location, that is. To the right-handed hitter. Mustangs in trouble now. And I'm talking about Fort Morgan, unfortunately. Stretch by Urquieta. 1-0. Change up high. Two balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Curveball is outside. Yeah, you might have to go with a change a lot sooner than later. Because Carlito now is just struggling with a strike zone. The stretch. 3-0 pitch, and that's way outside, not even close. A walk to Grounds, first and second. He's lost all his confidence. Here comes. Well, that's not Coach Langford. There is a conversation out there. Thomas Green, the 9th place hitter, will step in. Yeah, Fort Morgan's got some real trouble on their hands now. Nobody out, trailing 2-1. Here in the bottom half of the second inning. And the 9th place hitter up. A run already across. And what do you do here? Do they play small ball again? Talking about Ponderosa. All right, let's see what Carlito can do here against Green. The stretch. Long pause in the pitch. Change up is high. One ball and no strikes. Carlito stretches in the offering. Squaring to bunt. Lays it down foul up the first base side. Count sits at 1-1. Carlito's thrown 30 pitches. He's only thrown 10 strikes in the game. That's why you ask yourself, how much longer? Because what happens in these situations, it gets late early. And then you don't want to make a change before it's too late. Awaiting the pitch is Green. 1-1. Changeup is over but low. 2-1. Eischen at second. Grounds at first. A couple of walks, an infield hit, and an error have plated the second run for Ponderosa. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Count is at 2-2. Got to get this hitter, the number 9 hitter, up here. The stretch. And the 2-2. Curveball is lined towards right center field. That's a base hit. That's going to score at least a run in the alley. Around third, and scoring is going to be Eischen. To third is Grounds. Into second with a double is Thomas Green. And Ponderosa leads 3-1. Here's Jesse Feldhaus, who popped to left, and we'll have a pitching change. Let's take a 2-minute break. It's Ponderosa 3, Fort Morgan 1 in the bottom of the second inning. A 2-minute break on B106 and B106.com. All right, my mistake. No pitching change. That was the second visit. 1 ball and no strikes. Carlito still in there. Swung on. That is lifted softly into shallow right field. McBride comes on. That's going to drop for a base hit. The throw's coming home. And then the throw back to third. They're going to have the runner in a rundown, the trail runner, and Schneider will apply the tag as the hitter goes to second. And off of that mess, it's 4-1 as Feldhaus delivers here for Ponderosa. So Carlito stayed out there, did throw a strike at least, and that helps to get one out in the inning. But Fort Morgan is still down big time in this game now by 3 runs. And here's Mitch Halloran. He's 0 for 1 in the game. The stretch by Carlito on the pitch. Breaking ball is grounded to second. Pollard to his right has got it. He fires to first. And there's 2 down. Feldhaus advances to third.
Next up for the Mustangs, number 25, Alan Jean-Jacques.
Here's Alan Jean-Jacques. Line and pitch. Swung on and drilled foul off to the right with a changeup. No balls and 1 strike. Jean-Jacques walked at his first plate appearance. Line and offering. And that's a strike with a changeup. It is 0-2. Line and pitch in the dirt. One ball and 2 strikes. Let's see if Carlito can keep it at 4-1. The pitch. Fastball is up and away. And now they got the runner in a rundown. Throw to third, and it gets by Cosman off his glove on a low throw by Schneider. That will allow Feldhaus to score on the Schneider error. It's now 5-1. Oh, boy, just a perfect throw or a decent throw would have had him. But the Mustangs are now playing around with a baseball. And that's 2 errors in the inning. And now with the bases empty, it's a 2-2 count. Swung on and lifted towards the shortstop Shirtliff. Off the bat of Jean-Jacques, he makes the catch. But the disaster of an inning comes to an end for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Ponderosa with 4 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the third inning in Denver. It's Ponderosa 5, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the third inning in this district championship game. Ponderosa 5, Fort Morgan 1. Adrian Marquez takes a pitch down and away. A horrendous bottom of the second inning for the Mustangs with those 2 errors. 1 ball and no strikes on Marquez. The wind by the right-hander. The pitch is a fastball for a strike. But again, part of the story of the game is the struggles of starting pitcher Carlito Urquieta. Wind and offering. Fastball is a strike. On the outside corner, belt high. It's 1-2. Man, that pitch looked away. Josh Langford did not like that call, and I agree with him. We've had some very shaky umpiring in this game. And the 1-2 pitch, and the breaking ball's inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Marquez. He had a double in the opening game. Wind and pitch. Swung on and fouled at the plate. Count remains at 2-2. Marquez, the sophomore from the right side, awaits the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He blew him away with a fastball in the inside corner, and there's 1 down. Here comes Kyle Daniels, who grounded to second in his first at bat. Yeah, hard to win high-scoring games here. Ponderosa's pitching has been their staple throughout the course of the season. Daniels awaits the pitch, and he takes a breaking ball over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. That was strikeout number 3 for Jean Jacquet. He hasn't walked a hitter, but he's behind now 2-0 as that fastball tails away. The Mustangs got to chip away here and then do something on defense. 2-0 pitch. Fastball, a strike over the plate at the knees. On the inner half, it's 2-1. Daniels awaits the pitch. Fastball in the dirt. Ball 3, strike 1. The Mustangs are vying for their 18th win of the year. Winding offering, and that fastball's inside. It nearly hit him. And it's a walk to Kyle Daniels. And here comes Trevor Shurtleff. Yeah, you got to string these together now. So Shurtleff steps in. Shurtleff popped out in his first at bat. The sophomore awaits the pitch, and it's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. Thigh high, it's 0-1. We're in the top of the third in Denver at Metro State University. Ponderosa leads Fort Morgan in this elimination game in the district title. Swung on and grounded foul up the third base side. 5-1 the score. Fort Morgan was in this situation 2 years ago and lost to the top seed Pueblo West after beating Golden. No balls and 2 strikes. Short lead at first for Daniels. Throw back to first, back in diving. The ball nearly got away from the first baseman, Eischen. Shurtleff steps out momentarily. Mustang crowd trying to regain that energy here for Shurtleff to stretch. And awaiting the 0-2 pitch, here it is. He swings and grounds it to second. Halloran flips to second for 1. Back to first. Double play, 4-6-3. And the Mustangs are done in the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Let's head to the bottom of the third. It's Ponderosa 5, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. 5-1 Ponderosa over Fort Morgan as we head to the bottom of the third inning here in this Class 4A District 3 championship game from Metro State in Denver. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters against Carlito Urquiera, who has thrown 40 pitches, only 17 for strikes, and has really got to get the job done here in the third. If not, they got to go to Shurtleff or Schneider very quickly. They cannot allow this game to get too out of hand. They're already down by 4. Ryder Gadati had a base hit in his first at bat. Wind and pitch. He bounces in the changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Carlito's just got to unleash. He short arms too many pitches and they're not reaching the plate. 1-0. Swung on and lifted foul off to the right. That was much better. The count levels at 1-1. Win or lose, a great season for Fort Morgan. But they still have plenty of baseball to play here this afternoon. And that changeup is down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ryder Gadati. Off the left side of the rubber. Carlito delivers. Over but low with a changeup, 3-1. It's that leadoff man that keeps getting on for Ponderosa, the pitch. Up and away. It's 4 walks. I mean, he's looking over at the dugout. I don't know if Carlito is going to stay in there for too much longer, but I thought he'd be taken out already. Parker Leland popped to right. Here comes Josh Langford. And you think this has got to be it. I mean, you're not going to stay in the game with Carlito pitching the way he is. And we will have a pitching change. Trevor Shurtleff will come in. 90-second break, 90 seconds on B106 and B106.com. Trevor Shurtleff is the new pitcher, 1-1 with a 2.16 ERA. The runner at first base, I should say, still Carlito Urquieta's responsibility. 1 on and nobody out, bottom of the third inning. 5-1 Ponderosa. And the throw to second off the steal and in there is going to be Ryder Gadotti. First pitch was inside for a ball. Leland popped out in his first at bat. Here's the stretch. Shurtleff, the right-hander, delivers. Breaking balls in the dirt. Two balls and no strikes. Yeah, it comes down to pitching. And if you struggle in games like this, opponents take advantage. Lines towards center field. That's going to drop in front of Daniels for a base hit. Gadotti to third. The throw's going to be made all the way through. And now the ball gets away from Cosman. And into second is going to be Leland. That'll be an error on Daniels because the runner did not take off until the ball got away from Cosman on the errant throw. And right now it's another long inning for the Mustangs. We'll have a courtesy runner at second as well. Mustang infield playing in, and the breaking ball is taken for a strike. Nick Wilson is the courtesy runner. Kean Kagan at the plate. He walked and scored. The pitch. Curveball is a strike. 0-2. Yeah, Fort Morgan has got to prevent any more runs from scoring at this point. 0-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3. Wow. I'm telling you, that was about 6 inches off the plate. That was way off the plate, and the Mustangs of Fort Morgan got the call there. 1 down. Here's Parker Eischen. Fort Morgan will take it. Wind and pitch. Eischen takes a ball. Nice job of Shurtleff. If the umpire's going to give it to you, you got to spot it, and that's what Shurtleff did. Very smart baseball by the right-hander. And the 1-0 pitch swung on and lifted into left center field. That's going to find a gap. Way out there is Keller. He's going to chase it down for the out, but a run will score, and the runner to third. Eischen gets a sac, flies, crossing home plate is Gadotti. It's 6-1. Ponderosa. And I thought that was going to drop in the gap, but here's Dane Grounds with a runner at third and 2 down. And the pitch is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Grounds, like a few others, did walk and score. Wine in the offering. Swing and a miss. Count is level at 1-1. The pitch. Change up, a strike on the outer half. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trying to put him away and keep this at a 6-1 game. Curveball, swing and a miss. Ball's in the dirt. Schneider will throw him out, and that'll do it here in this inning. A run from Ponderosa. They take advantage of a Fort Morgan error. Let's head to the 4th inning. Ponderosa 6, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. Time to chip away for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. They're down to their final 12 outs. Trailing Ponderosa 6-1 as we head to the top of the 4th inning. It will be the heart of the order. Austin Cosman, Joey Schneider, and Carlito Urquieta against the right-hander Alan Jean-Jacquet. Wind and pitch. Fastball is up and in. Cosman tripled and scored. giving Fort Morgan a 1-0 lead 3 innings ago. He's got at least one more varsity at bat after this, you'd think. Swung on, grounded foul down the third base side. But a monster season for Cosman. 2 hits in the opening game, and already the triple. 2 triples today out of his 3 hits. No balls and 1 strike for Cosman. Check it 1-1. Wind and offering. And the breaking ball's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Got to watch the outside corner because it's being stretched out big time. 1-2. And the pitch. Just outside. Wow. That was almost the same location which a Ponderosa Mustang was run up, but the discipline was there by Austin Cosman. 2-2. And the offering. Swung on, grounded to short. Should be a routine play. Stumbling, picking up, throwing to first is Kagan. And there's one down as Cosman is out at first. Here is Joey Schneider, who singled in the game's first run. Schneider had a hit in the opening game as well. A 3-2 victory over Valor Christian to get to this game against Ponderosa. Wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is away. 1 ball and no strikes. Bank your financial needs with a Logan County Home Dome Bank since 1917. First National Bank in Fleming. Swing and a miss. On a fastball in the inner half, it's 1-1. And Stop, Shop, and Save on all your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. The Brush Grocery Cart, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Swung on, grounded to third on that second hop. Fielded throw to first is going to be low and unable to be dug out by Eishen. The air on the third baseman, Gadati. All he had to do was throw it on the fly, and Schneider would have been out by several steps. Instead, he's safe. And Fort Morgan has a base runner in what's turning out to be a very sloppy game for a district title game. And here's Carlito Urquiera, who struck out swinging in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. Carlito, the pitcher of record, as Anthony Arroyo is the courtesy runner for Fort Morgan. Jean Jacquet looks back. The stretch, throw back to first. You got to be careful with him. He already picked off McBride earlier in the game. And Fort Morgan down by 5 runs. Cannot be too aggressive on the bases. The stretch. Urquiera waits. Fastball, swing and a miss. Throw it by him. On the outer half, it's 0-1. We're in the top of the 4th inning in this district championship game from Metro State in Denver. Ponderosa leads Fort Morgan 6-1. Jean Jacquet stretches. And the offering. Fastball is outside. Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Conservative lead for Arroyo. The stretch and a pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2 to Carlito. Ponderosa's big inning came in the second when they tallied 4 runs. Pitch to Urquiera. Swung on and drilled to left field. That one's going to go all the way towards the fence on the line. Around second is Arroyo. He's headed towards third. They're going to send Arroyo. Arroyo's going to score. Urquiera to third. He's got an RBI triple. And Fort Morgan is back on the board here in the 4th inning. It's Ponderosa 6 and Fort Morgan 2. As Carlito drilled that baseball. And here is Kenny Keller. Keller singled in his first at bat. Yeah, still plenty of baseball if Fort Morgan can make some noise here. The stretch. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Tardy on that one. Kind of sitting at no balls and 1 strike. And the offering. In the dirt with a breaking ball. That levels the count at 1-1 to Kenny Keller. Fort Morgan trying to mount a comeback. Swung on and grounded to third. The play's going to be to first. Eishen's throw is right there. Or check it, Gadati's throw to Eishen. And a run will score as Kenny Keller drives in a run. And the Mustangs are to within 3. It's 6-3. Oh, that's the way you chip away. Here is McBride. McBride reached on an error, then was picked off later in the sequence. Swung on. That ball is lifted into left field. A lazy fly ball. A couple of steps in, making the catch is Feldhaus. And that does it for Fort Morgan here in the top half of the fourth inning. But the Mustangs tally a couple of runs. They get a big triple from Carlito Urquieta. That was their only hit, 1 error. And the bases were left empty. Let's head to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's Ponderosa 6, Fort Morgan 3 on B106 and B106.com. Well, Fort Morgan is back in the game as they now trail 6-3. Thomas Green had a big run-scoring hit his first time up. And he will now bat for Ponderosa to begin the bottom of the fourth inning against Trevor Shurtleff. Wind and pitch. And the breaking ball's in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Yeah, this is going to be it for Fort Morgan. They cannot allow any more runs. We've said that before. There's a changeup in there for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. The offering. And that is just outside. Barely missed. Another off-speed pitch. Count is at 1-2. And that is up and away. Not even close. Don't want to lose him here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the offering. Swung on and fouled to the screen. Count remains at 2-2 to the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the fourth inning, Thomas Green. With Ponderosa leading Fort Morgan 6-3. And the offering. Swung on and driven foul off to the right. That was a run-scoring double for Green earlier in the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Upstairs with a changeup. A little bit of curve to it, 3-2. And again, the leadoff hitter has been very productive with the exception of the first inning for Ponderosa. That's in the dirt with a curveball, and it's happened again. Leadoff hitter on. And here's Feldhaus, who drove in a run in his last at-bat. Popped out and singled. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Hitting from the left side. Shurtleff. Short lead at first for Green. The pitch, squaring to bunt. And he lays it down beautifully down the third baseline. There's not going to be a play there. Cosman will pick it up and throw safe. And tripping over the bag at first was Feldhaus. Let's see if he's okay. Cosman went through with the throw anyway, made it much closer than it appeared. And again, Ponderosa is just keeping their foot on the gas pedal. First and second, with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth for Mitch Halloran, who's struck out and grounded out. And Fort Morgan can hit the ball as well as they want, but if they cannot generate anything on the mound or defensively, it's going to be a struggle for them to come back in this game. They're trailing 6-3. Ponderosa's out hitting Fort Morgan 6-4, but the teams have combined for 5 errors. And now we'll see the situation at first. It looks like Feldhaus is on the ground just trying to stretch out that left ankle. Might have tripped over the bag. And yeah, he's just favoring it big time. I don't know if he's going to stay in the game. Now he's taking off his knee brace. And it might be a while here, at least a couple of minutes before we resume play, as they attend to Feldhaus at first base. Keep in mind that Bailey Mechanical Heating and Air Conditioning can take care of either need. 522-0471. And Corf Continental's your GMC, Chevrolet, and Buick sales and service provider, pre-owned super center, ready to serve you in Sterling, Yuma, Julesburg, Brush, and Fort Morgan at CorfAutoGroup.com. Feldhaus is coming out of the game. Well, let's see who will be the courtesy runner for him. Yeah, he's obviously injured over there. And we'll wait on the courtesy runner for Jesse Feldhaus here in the bottom of the fourth inning, with Ponderosa leading Fort Morgan 6-3 in this district championship game. The Mustangs with runs in the first and fourth inning. Ponderosa scored in every frame, including a 4-run second. And Matt Crusay will be the courtesy runner, and more than likely just in the game, maybe on a permanent basis for Feldhaus. And here's Mitch Halloran, who's 0 for 2. Yeah, Fort Morgan's going to have to win like a 10-9 game in order to advance here, because it's just not happening on the mound or at the plate. Well, I should say on the field, not at the plate. At the plate, they've got the 3 runs, which were enough to win the last game, and the changeup is high. 1 ball and no strikes, but a very good hitting team is Ponderosa. The stretch. Sherliff looks back, the offering. Squaring to bunt. That's upstairs. 2-0. Yeah, 6-3, 7-3. You're still in the game. You get to 8 or 9-3, and man, psychologically, it's deflating. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch squaring to bunt, and it's a fastball down and away. 3 balls and no strikes. At second is Green. At first is Crusay. And the pitch high with a fastball. Oh, they called it a strike. Wow. He was headed towards first, but they called it a letter-high strike. Ponderosa coaching staff beside themselves. And the 3-1 pitch. Squaring to bunt, lays it down the third baseline, and Cosman lets it trickle foul. 3-2. It'd be something here if Trevor can get out of this. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, you just need 1 clean inning. You need more than 1, but at least 1 to start with in order to have a shot in the game. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, nobody out. Bottom of the fourth inning. Ponderosa leads Fort Morgan 6-3. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on line towards right field. McBride comes on, plays it on a hop. Runner to third. Nobody's going to score on that one. Hit too hard. And the bases are loaded after Halloran picks up his first hit of the game. And for Ponderosa, that is their 7th. Here is Alan Jean-Jacquet, who has walked and popped out. And as much as I hate to say it, he can break it wide open for the Mustangs of Ponderosa right now. Wind and pitch. Swung on and driven into the right center field gap, and McBride cannot see it. He's still looking for it. It continues to roll. Daniels will chase it down. 2 runs are in. Here comes a third. Jean-Jacquet has got a bases-clearing triple. And Ponderosa leads 9-3 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Man, there was no doubt about that one. And Fort Morgan outfielders have had a nightmare trying to find the baseball. They've been unable to spot it. And here's Ryer Gadotti. You hate to see the season perhaps end like this, but it's looking very bleak for Fort Morgan. Line towards left field. Keller comes on. He's going to field that after one hop for a base hit. Run scores. It's now 10-3 in favor of Ponderosa. And here is Parker Leland. And this is a bunch of first pitch hitting, too. They're just stroking the ball all over the place. Leland awaits, throw back to first, and nothing doing there. Gadotti, by the way, now 2 for 2 with that base hit. And pitches a strike, throw to second on a hop to tag, and in there, and then the ball skips into center field, but backed up by Daniels. And the ball gets loose again in the infield. Wow. Stolen base for Gadotti is his second of the game. So Fort Morgan down by 7, just trying to make this respectable now. Looking in his Shirtliff. No balls, 1 strike to Leland. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is upstairs. This started off with a shaky outing by Carlito, but he's not the only one who struggled. As well as the Mustangs played in Game 1, it's been the opposite here. Looking back, 1-1 pitch. The breaking ball's in the dirt. Two and 1. Stretch and the offering, and that is over but low. 3-1 to Parker Leland with Kean Kagan on deck. Ponderosa with a run in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth. And the 3-1 pitch, and that is a ball below the knees. Shirtliff has walked 3. Carlito, it's 7 walks by Fort Morgan pitching. Keegan is 0 for 1. And now we had some chatter there from the Fort Morgan dugout. Nick Wilson will run. Somebody's getting warned over there, unfortunately. Not happy with the home plate umpire, but this is the type of game right now that it's gotten out of hand from the scoring standpoint. And in fact, Ponderosa can make this a 4.5 inning game if they score 3 more runs. And then hold Fort Morgan at the top of the 5th inning. We don't want that to happen, but certainly a possibility now. So here's Kagan. In what is a 10-3 game with 1 out and 2 on in the bottom of the 4th inning. Shirtliff towing the rubber. The stretch. And the offering runners are going. It's in the dirt. It'll be stolen base without a throw. One ball and no strikes. Mustangs are playing the infield in here against Kagan. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is inside. Well, this went from a pitcher strike zone to a hitter strike zone. 2-0 to Kagan. Ponderosa is looking for another huge inning. That change up inside as well. 3-0, and on deck is Parker Eischen. 3-0, 10-3 Ponderosa, bottom of the 4th inning. The pitch. Strike with a fastball belt high. Shirtliff ready. The wind and the pitch. Outside. And the bases are loaded with one down for Parker Eischen. He's got a single and a sacrifice fly. When you're in this situation, it's almost a helpless feeling, especially when you're on the mound. And that's what's going on right now. The pitch, breaking ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Sherliff has been good when he's pitched this year, as we mentioned, with a low ERA, but swung on and drilled down the right field line, but that's twisting foul. Count is at 1-1. 7 walks officially by Fort Morgan pitching. And the offering swung on, grounded foul up the right side. Count moves to 1-2. Yeah, they can't really keep score too well here on the board. That's some sloppy scorekeeping. So I'll tell you what's happening. 10 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for Ponderosa. 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors for Fort Morgan. Here's the wind, and the 1-2 pitch swung on and popped up on the left side into shallow left field along the line. Cosman now in foul territory, and it lands in fair territory. Urquieta picks it up. It'll be a base hit and a pop fly single. A run scores as Gadati crosses home plate. And now it's just placed perfectly. It's 11-3. Give the RBI to Eischen. Yeah, Cosman went into foul territory, and it landed inside the line. Now they can't even catch a break. Dane Grounds walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. Bases remain loaded. Fort Morgan is down by 8, that is, 11-3. The pitch. And a breaking ball's in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering upstairs with a changeup. Count is level at 1-1. And the pitch swung on, grounded to second. Pollitt drops it, picks it up. He's going to throw to first in time. A run scores. Now 12-3. But the all-important out was recorded. 2 down. And here's Thomas Green. Wine and offering in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch is high. Count moves to 2-0. To Green. And the pitch. Up and in. 3 balls and no strikes. Let's see if he'll be taking all the way. And he does, and it's a strike. Green has doubled and walked, driven in a couple of runs. 3 balls, 1 strike. The offering way outside. And the bases are reloaded. And Feldhaus was due to hit in this spot, but he got injured. Matt Cruz now the hitter. As he will now bat. Wine and pitch. Change up as a strike on the outer half. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. That's a strike. Belt high. Oh and 2. Shirtlift delivers. Breaking balls down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the wind and pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Oh, now it's 2 down. I had it at, yep. Now it's 2 down, so I apologize. I thought there were 2 down already. Lost my count there. Here's Mitch Halloran. They've played at 6. Fastball is up and away. This is the 12th hitter of the inning. Halloran is 1 for 3. Kicks and fires. Swung on and grounded up the middle. That's going to be a base hit into center field. 1 run is in, and the ball is bobbled in center field by Daniels. The throw to third. No tag there. And the hitter to second, we'll call it a straight 2-run single for Mitch Halloran. It's now 14-3 in favor of Ponderosa. Alan Jean-Jacquet broke the game open with a bases-clearing triple earlier in the inning. Wide and pitch. Swung on and driven to center field. Kyle Daniels going back. Ranges under it. Makes the catch. And the inning is over. Ponderosa is 3 outs away. 8 runs, 6 hits. No errors and 2 men left. Let's head to the top of the 5th inning. Could be it for Fort Morgan. They need 2 runs to extend the game. It's Ponderosa 14, Fort Morgan 3 on B106 and B106.com. Well, it was a 6-3 lead when the bottom of the 4th started for Ponderosa. Anybody's game at that point. Now it's 14-3. And Nate Cage will begin the top of the 5th. Here for the Fort Morgan Mustangs against right-hander Alan Jean-Jacquet. Ponderosa had to fight to beat Northridge 3-2 earlier today, but as at Fort Morgan beating Valor Christian, this, though, has been a cakewalk for Ponderosa. 1-4-1-8 over the first 4 innings. Mustangs with a run in the first and 2 in the 4th. And if the Mustangs don't tally 2 runs in this inning, Fort Morgan's season is over. Cage has had 1 at bat in the game, and he struck out against Jean-Jacquet. So here we go to begin the 5th. And some great baseball the first 2 games. This one has turned out to be sloppy with the 5 errors. Cage steps out before we begin the 5th. Settles back in. And the pitch. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, tremendous season put together by Fort Morgan. You hate to throw in the towel now, but it's almost impossible against a 4 seed to rally from this type of deficit. And the breaking ball's in there for a strike. 14 runs and 11 hits for Ponderosa. They've committed 2 errors, 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors for Fort Morgan. The pitch. Breaking ball right down the middle. It's 1-2. Jean-Jacquet looking to go the distance in a 4.5 inning game. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball away. Perfectly located. There's 1 down. Adrian Marquez struck out swinging in his first plate appearance.
Next up to bat, number 10, Adrian Marquez.
He now steps in. Be nice to give the seniors, some of the seniors, at least 1 more plate appearance, but Marquez would have to get on. So would Daniels. Strikeout number 4, by the way. Swing and a miss. He's just throwing gas right now, Jean-Jacquet is, with an 11-run lead in the 5th inning. With 1 out and nobody on. And the 0-1 in the dirt with a breaking ball. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jean-Jacquet delivers. Fouled straight back, went with a heater up in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another successful season for the Mustangs. 16 wins during the regular season, 1 today. Breaking ball bounces in. 2-2. And for the second time in 3 years, it looks like they'll fall 1 game short of the state tournament. That's some success, though. Swung on, grounded left side. Easy hop for Gadati. Throws first, and there's 2 down. And Kyle Daniels is up, trying to extend the game for Fort Morgan. He's grounded out and walked, 0 for 1 officially. He's a junior. Shirtliff on deck as a sophomore. They both have to get on for the senior Cosman. He would have to get on for the senior Schneider. With 2 down and the bases empty. Wind and pitch. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Jean Jacquet delivering. And the breaking ball is a beauty. Belt high. Daniels didn't like it. It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Bases empty. The pitch. Curveball is outside. Fort Morgan is down 14-3 in the top of the 5th inning in this Class 4A District 3 championship game to Ponderosa. 2-1. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Throw him a fastball right at the knees. It's 2-2. Kyle, the second leading hitter on the team going into this game behind Cosman, who has had 3 hits today, 2 in the opening game, 1 in this game. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and foul to the backstop. Remains at 2-2. And I got to give credit to these Fort Morgan fans. I mean, they have not stayed quiet at all. They're encouraging these Mustangs to play to the last out. Man, outstanding support by this Fort Morgan faithful today, regardless of the score. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded right back to the mound. Jean Jacquet picks it up, underhands to first, and the Ponderosa Mustangs have advanced to the 8-team double elimination state tournament as they defeat the Fort Morgan Mustangs by a score of 14-3. We will wrap it up after this on B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post-Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, there to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. Morgan Community College. Well, the Fort Morgan Mustangs qualified for the Class 4A District 3 championship game, defeating Valor Christian today 3-2, but lost here to Ponderosa in 5 innings, 14-3. For Ponderosa, 14 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors, 4 left on base. Fort Morgan, 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors, and 1 left on base. The winning pitcher was Alan Jean Jacquet. He went the distance, and the loss of the 5-inning game went to Carlito Urquiera, and the time of the game was 1 hour and 29 minutes, and quite frankly, it was just a game that got away from Fort Morgan. However, the Mustangs did claim a 1-0 lead as Austin Cosman hit a 2-out triple. He would score on Joey Schneider's RBI single. However, then a wild pitch in the bottom of the 1st inning was able to plate a run for Ponderosa, and they were able to tie the game at 1. And it stayed that way when the 2nd inning got a little bit sloppy for Fort Morgan with some errors, and Ponderosa certainly was able to take advantage as they took a 2-1 lead on Kean Kagan's. He scored in an error. Thomas Green with an RBI single. Another run scored in a miscue. Jesse Feldhaus with an RBI single made it 5-1. And then after a Parker Eischen sac fly in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Fort Morgan came back. Carlito Urquiera came through with a run-scoring triple in the 4th inning. Kenny Keller with an RBI ground and made it 6-3. But then Jean Jacquet broke it open with a bases-clearing triple. That made it 9-3. They would plate 5 more runs in the frame, and Ponderosa with a victory advances to the opening round of the 8-team double elimination state tournament in Denver beginning on Friday, as they are now 13-8 on the year. The Mustangs have a fabulous season, 17 wins and 4 losses, but for the second time in 3 seasons, fall one game shy of the state tournament. Coming up tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock on 1010 as well as KSIR.com, it's the Brush Bee Diggers' turn in the 3A district tournament. They will take on the 29 seed Denver Science and Tech of Stapleton as Brush is seeded 4th. They win that game, then they play at 3 o'clock against the winner of tomorrow's 1 o'clock game in Brush between the 13 seed St. Mary's and the 20th seed the Academy. Brush in the same position as Fort Morgan is. If they can win 2 games, they would qualify for the 3A state tournament. Outstanding job today from our sound engineer and producer Braden Godin. I'm John Beltran. We say goodbye to the 2015 Fort Morgan Mustang baseball season, but what a great season it was. 17 wins and 4 losses. They defeat Valor Christian in the district semifinals 3-2, but fall to Ponderosa in 5 innings in the district title game 14-3 from Metro State University in Denver, right here on B106 and B106.com.